Alright, hello everybody. I am here for the tournament guide in the St. Patrick's Day Tournament, Rookie Division, hole number 1. And just kind of going over some things, setting up my bag here. Still very similar here. I'll take just a tiny bit extra ball guide here for my approach of this first hole here. Aside from that, I am going to try to figure out what driver I want to use. You don't really need a lot of power on this hole. I'm just going to stick with Thor's. Ball wise, I'm going to put a navigator on. And aside from that, should be good to go. Just in case you make a mistake, make sure you have a sand wedge and rough iron that will hopefully still reach the green. But you want to be a little bit cautious as to which. So here you're going to see me in the rookie division. I am going to not qualify today because this is the first tournament that I am eligible for pro. So I'm going to take full advantage of that and do pro with this account. The prizes in rookie just aren't very good. I mean, I don't use any of those cards, so it's essentially a waste to have to use those cards. But here, as you can see, my opponent not even setting up to go in power yet, and just kind of in the opening fairway there. That's kind of where I like to land mine as well. One of the things that you do have to be a little cautious of is the right-hand side. Guys have the tendency to not get aggressive enough. And there you see, great balled it and kept it in play. Had he hit it perfect, it would have been in the rough. And that's the biggest thing that you have to worry about is this fairway drive, setting it up and putting it in position where you want it. You have to do it with a reasonable amount of precision here. So here you want to see kind of a landing zone of right here. So I'll probably go about 3 rings for that. Figure out where my max power distance is. And just back off of that slightly because I could see that it was going to be in the rough. And there I get my perfect. Power looks about good. And there it just kind of threads up through. Right in distance for a navigator pitch with the thorn. So let's see what this guy can do with his. The way that I typically go for this is definitely the front of the hole. I do not use a backspin approach. I don't find this to be a very reliable option, especially anytime that you have a hole that's on a hill. That's going to intensify how tough it is. So here you're going to see me just try to, what I always try to do here is I just try to find a little groove. I usually just try to find a groove somewhere where I can find a nice little flat spot and get it to run towards the hole. There you see me putting my third hop with 3 backspin kind of right in front of the hole. It's just kind of the way that I like to do it. And in terms of, I was kind of mid-club here, which I'm going to play right about there. Oh, geez. So the 1 ring, it's not even going to be close. So at mid-club, I was probably needed to play it 3 something per ring, almost 4. And that's where you had me come up with that 1 ring adjustment. And of course, anytime you hit a great ball, especially on a 1 ring adjustment, it's going to take you out of the shot entirely. So I was unable to get this pitch here. But let's see if I can't get a first look here at the par 3s. This is actually, if I remember from this morning, that's going to be a very similar wind to this morning's. Here you're seeing me on Min Club here. Which is probably going to be a ring and a half, somewhere in there.
Perfect shot.
And there you see me coming up just a little bit short. I'm sure I'm going to get shot copied. Let's see. Maybe not. So this, anytime you bounce it off this fairway, it makes it a little bit more challenging. So I always prefer going for the bump shot, and that's probably how you're going to see me do it with the tournament shot as well. Now know that you always have to up the backspin or top spin just a tiny bit when you're talking about min club versus max club. So when I'm working right off of min club number, you're going to see, you're going to need just a tiny bit more top spin. And that's part of the reason that you're seeing me come up short. Part of the reason is also the wind as well. And with no ball guide, it was kind of tough to gauge how much extra to actually put on. But it looks like right around 2 rings is going to be about perfect. So that's what we're going to do for the tournament. So good luck with getting that eagle on the first hole. And be on the lookout for hole number 2 coming up very shortly. And let me know how that one goes. And see you guys on the next one.